damage pattern looks like, or basically where someone of Mr. O'Keefe's height arm would contact the rear taillight.
And also the family of the perpetrator. Going forward, we Logans are choosing to put our energy and focus into honoring Maddie's too short life.
Like, you can't remember my name. I don't remember.
What is no big deal to us is a big deal to these litigants, right?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Source on Order. I go by the name of Heinz, your friendly neighborhood catch-up man, and yes, we are back right here for episode 6 of Source on Order, and it has been such an interesting week, in my opinion, going back over this case. I did not expect to see so much unraveling very quickly for Monica Sementilli, and I say that because not because the state has not put on a good case. I just thought that maybe they might save the best evidence for last, but no, they have, in my opinion, gone in such a way that Monica's credibility is attacked in a way that she can't. If she chooses to take the stand, it'll probably be the worst decision that she would make, because like I said before, I don't know what this case is. I haven't followed this case from day one, and I'm just learning it like other people may have if they're coming into the trial new. So we are going to be discussing this case on the show. So that's what we have planned on the show. But before all of that, before we go into the Monica Sementilli trial, I just want to say hello everyone that are here. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching this back on replay, thank you. For hopefully you guys get to join us live on one of these occasions. But nonetheless, you are already here. That's all that matters. If you're watching this, if you're of course here with us live, make sure that you just say hi and let us know how you're feeling, let us know how your week has been in the chat. But yeah, so to go back to what I was saying in regards to the cases that we have covered or that we are going to cover, before I do go into the Monica Sementilli case, which is the current case that we are going over, it is over 37 days long, so that sounds like 9 or 10 weeks. We're currently on week 4, so it's nearly coming to an end. And currently we are going to be covering other cases as well. And every month, this is what I would like to do, and get to commune with you guys and get to get your guys' perspective on these things. So I started the voting process last week, where I was asking a lot of you guys to vote for the cases that you want us to cover on this week. On this weekly show. So let's just go into it. What case would you like us to cover? Last week it was a tie, so I have to ask it again, and I have to go through it all again. So I'm going to vote. I'm going to enable you guys to basically vote for the cases. But here it is. The cases that we have this particular week for you guys to cover. Well, not for you guys to cover, for you guys to decide, so that I could cover on the future Source and Order is for one, it's probably an obscure but a quite interesting case. Is the case of the Iowa, I believe Iowa versus Christopher Bahau. This is the case where he was accused of beating his girlfriend because he had visions of beating her, something like that. I don't know these cases. I haven't researched any of them. It's just that one article that I've read just to get an idea of what the case is. This seems interesting to me. Couple of mental health things sticking out. Did he have mental issues or those things? I have no idea. But if this is the case that interests you, make sure that you vote for it and put it in a poll. what you guys what case you guys would like me to cover. Then we have the next case, which is the WV versus Natalie Cochran. I do apologize. This is probably the one abbreviation of a state that I do not know, so I do apologize for that. But nonetheless, it is a case about a woman that possibly was accused of killing the husband because he had discovered a crime. I do know the verdict for this case because the article that I read actually brought a verdict. She was convicted. But we want to go and dive into why she may have decided to conceal, or what pushes people to go and try to do this concealment. And I want to dive into it to see what comes out so that we can dive a bit deeper. So that's the Natalie Cochran case. Then the GA versus Melody Faris case. This is one that I believe a lot of people may know about it. It sparked up a lot of discussions on the internet from the past that I did see. And yeah, so she was accused of burning her husband. I'm not sure, burning her husband. I don't know, again, like I said, I don't know the details too tough of these cases. And I don't know why she would do it. I don't know exactly what possessed her. I have no idea. But that's why she was burning the husband, because of the theme of the whole family being likely implicated from the one article I did read. Is it a family feud or a family cover-up? I may sound dumb by even asking those questions like that. I have no idea, but it just sounds like that based on the low information that I read from the article. Not going too deep, just skimming. And I thought, just based on that, I think that's interesting. Let's see. Let me write it down for consideration. And then finally, we have the MA versus Christian Ritchie case. Interesting case for this particular one, because this is a case where she was accused of killing her firefighter boyfriend because she was jealous of him. And it's interesting for so many reasons. So many reasons, because the article that I read about this case is just the pure fact that she had found out about him having an affair, and she just basically never got over it. So I want to explore back into that. Like, what is that like? How could someone hold on to that for so long? Why didn't they want to let go? I want to see what the case brings out, and then we can discuss it here. So we can dive into it here. So those are the cases. Let me know in the polls what you guys, which case. Let me just write it down for you guys now. Which case would you like me to cover for future episodes? Okay, so like I said, we will do this every month when and you guys also can suggest the case on the Ketchup Court website, ketchupcourt.info. Just go on there, suggest the case. So yeah, definitely. I will post the link. It will be in the description, and also in the pinned comment by the end of the stream, so that you guys can go and suggest a case. If there's a case that you would like me to take a look and dive into more details here. Trial Channel is here. Hi, how are you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, it's been. I hope that you're having a good week. West Virginia is WV. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would never have guessed that. I actually thought Virginia is like just one place, but I didn't know it has its own sub-state or its own actual area. So I didn't know that. Thank you so much. Wait, is West Virginia? Okay, anyway, never mind. I'm getting distracted. Melody Faris. Okay, I will have to note that down. I trust you, Charles. Like she knows her cases. But yeah, so let's go into the Monica Sementilli trial. So let's just go into it and see what we have in store for today.
Most people who upgrade their equipment, they cannot view their cameras remotely because of limitations on older systems.
Yes, she was crying uncontrollably. She was using her cell phone and looking down at it. I remember her saying, "I am so stupid," and repeating that 3 or 4 times.
I thought her behavior seemed odd, a little forced, and I recall telling Detective Parshell that I said she's full of crap when we walked out of the house.
Anywhere in those public Instagram posts, did you find any posts by the defendant regarding her trip in May to Las Vegas with Robert Baker?
No.
Like I said earlier, this is probably the week that, in my opinion, the facade is actually breaking for Monica Sementilli. And before we go into this week and what is in store, we have to know how we got here. So I'm gonna go through my key points that I wrote down from the previous testimonies from the previous week. So this was week 1 when we started. And it was going through Ryan Werner's testimony in regards to there was no mention of a Mustang, and I believe this was I wrote down May 8th, so I must assume this has to be May 1st to 7th of 2017. So this May 8th, I believe she spoke with Ryan Werner on this particular day, and there was no mention of her having a Mustang. This was already debunked on week 2 because Matthew Nurse came in to testify. I believe week 2 or week 3. I believe it's week 2. Anyway, he came in to testify about there being a Mustang. So I'm gonna write it down. Matthew Nurse, week 2. So that's. And most importantly, she said that Monica denied remote access of the DVR cameras to the investigators. Interesting enough for me to write that down, because I was like, okay, there was a lot of focus on this DVR system. So therefore, I'm going to have to actually make a note of this, because it might become important later on. And what do you know? A lot of the testimonies this particular week is centered around that DVR system and how it came to be. So I can't wait to get into that. My hunch was correct. I feel paid off, because if any juror may have felt like that, they probably decided at this point, not saying that that's what happened, but maybe in week 4 they probably thought, we have enough here to basically say that she did it. But yeah, let me continue on. I think this was week 2, and this was when Elise Bayot, what's his name again? I forgot his name. Matthew Nurse, all those people, they gave testimony. Elise Bayot said that Robert was in a sex video. Deborah Obed was the money from. We spoke about Luigi Sementilli about receiving the money, the insurance money, and how Monica basically was handling the whole handling the hearing of the insurance money. And this was literally the same day that that Fabio had died. So this was around the same day, and in that same week, Luigi Sementilli traveled over from Canada to go and see Monica, because Deborah had called him while he was in Canada, told him about the whole insurance thing. So apparently, according to Luigi, Monica was petting the insurance documents. I felt there was manipulation to give up stock options. I will have to dive into this concept a bit more as I get more information, because that is quite interesting that he offered up that kind of testimony where it was interesting that he offered the testimony about her telling him to give up his stock options because he already has a lot from the payouts, so he has to give those up for his little sisters, so that it can be equal, basically. So I wanted to look at, I wrote down manipulation because that's literally what I thought that was. it's not your place to decide. It's literally what he is entitled to. But I digress. And in this period of time, 23rd to 27th, was all the money situations, etc. Now we got to week 3. This was last week, and this was in regards to the insurance payout, and this was communicated to Monica. This was the police telling Monica that the insurance needed clearance. So she was frantic and calling the businesses. A lot of those employees came in and testified to this very fact. Thank you so much, Trial Channel. I just saw that. She says Obad with an A. Obad, okay. Not Obed, Obad. Thank you so much. So, okay, so continuing on. They took, so that was the testimony. That was how that's what I noticed was a catalyst for Monica's behavior, because the police had informed her, she had been informed by somebody in the company that the police would need to give clearance for the insurance payouts to be given over. So she started calling out the company to find out what was going on, and then that's when she called Detective Paschal. So because this goes back or connects back to Ryan Werner's testimony, from what I understand, because the Paschal voicemails were, I believe, from the period of February, and I believe the employees were talking about about the calls around early February, mid-February, but I don't know the exact time because I just didn't record it down. I will have to do that next time. But yeah, they took the DVR from the house. That is a very important thing, because I think that's gonna come up later on. I think that's gonna come up later on, where they're going to expand more on this, and we're gonna get to find out whether Baker, I'm gonna say for the purposes of this stream, the alleged killer, because I know Baker has been sentenced for the killing. He has been found guilty of the killing, but I wanna see them establish that in the trial, like they established in the trial pertaining to Baker. But yeah, this connects to Ryan Werner's testimony about I think he said there was a lack of DVR at the place, but nonetheless, it all ties back together, and I believe all of this sequencing is going in and showing all of this sequencing, the way that is going, it's showing how Monica's is building up to Monica's involvement in this particular crime, because there's a lot of focus on this DVR. So that was week 3 recap. We're now on week 4. I have to let's go on this journey together, because it is getting hot now. It's getting hot now. Trial Channel says Obed is Charlie Edelson's friend. I didn't know. Oh shoot, I didn't know that. I don't think. Okay, I mean maybe I have to watch Charlie Edelson trial to actually know who this person is. I can't recall hearing that name in the Donna Edelson trial. I can't recall that, or maybe I could, and I'm just not remember at the moment. Hey Brooklyn, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you are having a really good time here, and I hope that you've had a good week as well. Yeah, I definitely remember you on Publicly Boss. I think you, I definitely remember that. But yeah, so let me just adjust my camera. Didn't realize that my head shape was cut up. Okay, so maybe I don't know why I don't remember his name. I believe you, but I just don't know why I don't remember Obed being called out. It's my mistake, but I definitely believe you. But let's go into the testimonies in regards to this week, where we heard a lot of key testimony. But first, we're gonna start with the DVR because this is where everything kicks off. So Shawn Khan, who was the security camera installer, came in to testify about how he got to install the camera and for what purpose he was installing the camera. And the way that I just want to geek out for a minute because I like to see good lawyering, and I'm going to expand more on this later on. But I love seeing good lawyering, especially from the state. Good trial strategy. You know how much I wax lyrical about Georgia Kappelman. From what I saw, and then over it, I was like, okay, the evidence is good, but maybe some parts could use tightening up. But this particular one, where the evidence is very, very fragmented, just for them to make this story so clear. I mean, the evidence is good in this case as well, but it is very technical and it's very fragmented. And the way that they've brought it all together to like kind of help you follow along, because it's very tough to see how Monica is there when she wasn't at the crime scene and when there were no communications between her and Baker leading up to the crime. So how do you put that all together to show that yes, there was something there and you need to believe us? So I thought that the way that so far anyway, from what I've seen anyway so far, I just gotta give props to the state for how they are presenting this case, because I usually look at defense attorneys a lot. That's where the action is, in my opinion. But this one, I am invested in the state, because even with the super lawyers that Monica Sementilli has with her team anyway, they can't compete with this. I think they are even making mistakes, and I can tell that these are very good lawyers because they make some great points, but the little mistakes that they made, I think we went through it last time where the British, I forgot the British guy's name, but he was pointing out the web searches that was showing that Monica was at was on a lifestyle lounge website, and I'm like, why would you want to point that out? Like, you're just playing into the prosecution's hands. But I thought at the time that the only reason why he would point this out was to kind of like take this thing out of it and kind of use it to remove Baker from it and just say, hey, Monica was actually moving on. She was seeing other men, and that's why Baker started wanting to be with her, all those things. But it all doesn't matter now. Based on this week, you're going to see why it just doesn't matter what they were doing last week. Whatever gains that I said that the defense was making last week, it in my opinion, it goes out the window this week, and I'm going to go into it. But yeah, let me just play this. Let me just go into this particular testimony and show and just start with the installation of the new DVR system, because what came out is there was an old system that Monica Sementilli had, and they had reached out to get that system updated. Let's go and check it out.
You know who this Calmani-Mo at Hawken was?
Yes.
Who's that?
That's for Monica Sementilli.
Okay. The email speaks for itself, but what were you asked?
Basically, just inquiring about our services and just, I guess, talking about what they have and what they would like to improve.
Okay. Turning to page 2, a continuation of the email there?
That is correct.
Is that answer?
That is correct.
And you're asking if you're available Monday. What did you want to do on Monday?
Site visit.
So far, is this normal? Somebody contacts you and then you set up a visit?
That is correct.
What's the visit for?
Evaluation to see what they have, what they're looking to accomplish.
And is that something that you go out and do?
99.9% I do, yes.
In this particular instance, did you end up going to the Sementilli residence?
Yes.
Turning to page 3, continuation of the email chain. Again, is that from Fabio to you with Monica Sementilli CCTV?
Yes.
Okay, so you decided on For Fabio's telling you Wednesday would be a good day, is that right?
That is correct.
And then turning to page 4, just a continuation of the email. Page 5. Again, a message from Fabio to you, and this is all on the same day, Sunday, June 19th, 2016, correct?
That is correct.
And Fabio provides their address, the Sementilli residence.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the one thing that is established in this testimony, we gotta go to the whiteboard because that is very key. I know that's gonna be very key later on. 19th of June, 2016, Fabio books appointment. To upgrade DVR. So that was Fabio. Now, the reason why I'm writing this down is because I just remembered. I didn't have this thought when I was like, going through my notes and putting this all together. I didn't have this thought, but I literally just remembered that Ryan Verner's testimony, at least part of his testimony, he mentioned that Monica had said it was Fabio had no idea about the remote access. Fabio had no idea about it, about the DVR being remote control. I think, if memory serves, that the DVR was not even able to have remote access. We went through that on week 1. So this is kind of like, I forgot to write that part down last time, but I literally just remembered it right now, that Fabio had no idea. So now we have the email to basically say that, yeah, he was the one that booked. So 2 thoughts are coming into my mind. Was it Monica Sementilli that was writing under Fabio's email, or was it actually Fabio that actually booked the whole thing? Because what Mr. Shawn Khan went on to testify was that he never met Fabio. He never actually saw Fabio at the premises, which can happen. He doesn't have to be there. But it's just interesting that it's only her that knew about the upgrade. It's also interesting that no one else. I'm just remembering now Mirella's testimony, that she never had an idea that the DVR system was being upgraded. She never had an idea that they were that it was even remote control, or Fabio was getting a new DVR system. So now it kind of ties together. I'm not sure if she asked Luigi. I'm not. I think it was only Mirella that she asked. But I know Trial Channel probably knows a lot about this case more than I do. Don't spoil it for me. But if I have made a little bit of inconsistencies, okay, cool. Yeah, Fabio didn't know how to access remotely. So it makes me ask, who ordered this then? Who actually wanted this to come in? Who actually wanted to install this? So it just seems to me, because Monica was there, she wouldn't know about it. All this shows, in my opinion, is premeditation. That's what I'm getting here. That this all goes into the idea that I believe she is on trial for first-degree murder. So I think that's a very big part that they have to prove. I think it's first-degree murder. I could be wrong. Because I haven't looked at it. I haven't. I can't remember the charges, if I'm being honest with you. But I should really remember the charges. I think Fabio wanted it, but Monica was handling it. Okay, that's it. I'll take that on board. I've got Donna Elderson on the mind where they are talking on dual emails, the whole father and shared emails thing. I'm thinking, oh, maybe that's the same thing that's happening here as well, like that. So that's what's going on. But yeah, let me continue on. This is the next part of his testimony where he discusses about the site surveillance, or the site walk that he was doing to determine what to install, where to install, all of those things. Let's continue.
All the cameras were, the type of cameras, and where they needed around the house. Once we looked at the monitor, got a view of the angles, we walked around the house and looked at where all the cameras were, the type of cameras, and where they needed the new camera.
Yes, number 130. It's an aerial surveillance camera placed on an aerial map of the Sementilli residence.
Very well.
Okay. All right, can you orient yourself as this is an aerial map of the Sementilli residence?
Yes.
Now, there's a pointer in front of you, a stick, you can pull that out right under your monitor, and then turn around the screen, just indicate then where the cameras were that you looked at.
So we looked at this camera right here, this one right here.
So, better describe, you're pointing to the bottom left, is it?
Bottom left, yes.
Bottom left is it?
Close to the street, closer to the street and the driveway.
And where was that camera then?
This camera was, we did not relocate any cameras, just upgraded the cameras or replaced. So I believe I replaced 3 cameras, because altogether they have 5 cameras. So in the picture, what you don't see is the intercom camera. The intercom camera is somewhere right here.
And you're indicating right as an entrance into the driveway?
Entrance into the driveway, yes.
So at that location, entering into the driveway, you said there was intercom camera. Is that the kind where you push a button if you wanted someone to let you in?
Exactly.
And there was a camera attached to it?
There's a camera inside attached to it, not easy to replace, so we left it alone.
Do you know if that camera was working when you went out there?
It was working when I went out there, and it was working when we left.
The camera in the bottom left, we just pointed to, there's an icon with a right triangle. Finding Marcus Peoples 131, it's a...
Okay, I'm going to note that down. Let's go back to the whiteboard. And I think that this is very, very important for so many reasons, because he just testified that there was 3 or 4 cameras that they replaced. He replaced, I should put down anyway. 3 camera replaced, this means remote capabilities. And there was 1 camera that they left alone. That is going to become important later on for so many reasons, because well, I don't know how important it's gonna be, because the reason why I'm writing this down, or why I feel like it's important, is because I just remembered Ryan Verner's testimony is connecting again, where I believe they done or showed the cameras, where the cameras were in the house, and it coincided with where the assassins or the killers, where they had gone into the house, so, and where they went out of the house. So that 1 camera that was not improved or not updated, maybe it has something there, maybe. I genuinely don't know, but I need to know if it was even mentioned at all. I need to know, or I need to go back and look and just see where that camera would be facing, and whether there's going to be whether there's going to be evidence presented later on to what was possibly captured on that camera. So that's pretty much all I have. That's pretty much what I pick up from that particular scene, from that particular testimony, anyway, I should say. So let's now continue on to the next part of his testimony that I thought that was very, very key, and it was where he gave testimony in regards to the age of the system that Monica Sementilli's not Monica Sementilli, but the Sementilli's cameras at the residence and its capabilities. Let's take a listen.
We put that, a detailed description, because this is one of the reasons people upgrade their equipment. Most people who upgrade their equipment, they cannot view their cameras remotely because of limitations on older systems.
Was this an older system that you were upgrading that didn't have that capability?
I believe so, and it wasn't connected either to the network, so I did that myself.
Okay, so the previous camera system, you weren't able to view it on a phone as far as you knew?
That is correct.
So you sent the proposal. The next day then, zooming in here, which is Thursday, the very next day, did you receive this email then back from the defendant, Monica Sementilli?
That is correct.
And was that the go-ahead that you were going to go ahead and do this installation?
Yes, that's what it looks like.
And that's page 4. On page 5, is that you just confirming that it's approved?
Yes, just to reconfirm.
Okay, now this point of email, you're only communicating with the defendant. Fabio is not on these emails anymore. Is there any reason why?
Not sure. Yeah, seems like this is that was the first email that where she took over.
Okay. And by the way, you never met Fabio, ever?
I've never met Fabio. No.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I wanted from that. And he has just basically established that the upgrade has now allowed remote capabilities onto the DVR. So upgrade equals remote capabilities. Very, very important. Oh, because Jesus Christ, I'm in awe. And if you have not seen this case, you're not going to understand why I'm in awe. But that was the bulk of his testimony. He did go on to testify about the entry log for anyone who accesses the DVR. So I do think that this is going to be important on some level, but I feel like based on the testimony that's going to come up, I believe the entry log has been explained already, and it's going to be explained with Curtis Davis, who is going to testify to a lot of these things later on. So I believe that's what he meant by the entry log. But yeah, so the cross-examination, I believe the British male, I don't know his name to be honest, but he was just doing his best, and I gotta give him props because the main thing that he highlighted in the cross-examination was that the upgrade was a popular choice, so it doesn't necessarily mean that someone would just get the upgrade to plan a murder. And I highlight that because it is going to become important later on, because the defense are trying to remove that premeditation elements that I believe that's been their focus now. I don't think that they were focusing too much on that earlier, but they're trying to remove that premeditation element. They are yet to show how Fabio and Monica got into a point where Monica was scared for her life. We have to remember that opening statement. I don't know if they have abandoned that, because we're going to hear so much testimony that it just does not seem likely at all that she was afraid of this man and this man was harassing her, so she wanted to show she didn't want to have a relationship with him. It is, but nonetheless, let's just go on to our next witness, and that is Detective Chang. The focus really is not really what he says, but it's just the focus is not on his testimony, but because I'm gonna go to Joe and Anaya, who basically provide more context, but it's what he says here that I think is gonna be important later on. Let's go and watch.
Just next to that
What did you do?
I do the valet stand to retrieve their car.
Okay.
Oh, just to, I forgot to say what his function is in this particular testimony. So he was one of the detectives that was surveilling Robert Baker. Their main objective was, because Robert Baker was a suspect, we don't know how they determined he was a suspect. We don't know what they had to determine he was a suspect. I'm still watching it. But he was determined for whatever reason as a suspect, so they started surveilling him. And he is providing the context to how Monica even became. I was laughing when I saw this, I'm not gonna lie. Which is why what I find ridiculous on why the defense would have opened with their opening statements to say that Monica didn't even want to be with Robert. Like, in what realm? Like, anyway. But this is when they had found out that both Robert and Monica were together, and they didn't expect that. So that's when they start looking into Monica more. But their original plan was to surveil Robert Baker, and this ended up happening. Let's take a listen.
And what did you do?
I followed them out to just next to that valet stand.
Okay. And what did you note at that point in time?
While Mr. Baker and Ms. Sementilli were waiting for the car, they began kissing and making out in front of the establishment.
At the valet stand?
Yes,
Approximately how far away were you from the two of them at that point in time?
maybe 2 feet, 3 feet max.
Showing you exhibit 1.
Damn. So, Trial Channel says, let me just read that quickly. Trial Channel says, that's weird. I think the one they left alone was on this side of the house facing the street. It could be. I really don't know. I really don't know. It could be. I need to look back on it because they did show the DVR of them running inside the house. So maybe that's how they were able to figure out and, deduct from there. Maybe that's the only anomaly. Maybe that's the only missing piece. I don't know why I said those 3 words if I'm not going to use it. But anyway, maybe that's the only missing piece as to what Monica didn't expect. Maybe she didn't actually think. Maybe she didn't know that they didn't upgrade that. But I doubt it. I think she would have been told by Shawn that they didn't upgrade one camera, and she probably thought, oh, it's not important. Go through. But it makes sense at the same time why that would be the case, and I'm gonna get to it. I'm going to get to the point why I think it makes sense. Why I think it makes sense regarding the remote capabilities, because I don't believe that Monica even does what she does when she accesses the remote. When she accesses the DVR, oh gosh. But anyway, the one from the outside of them running in is another person's camera. Oh, that's not even theirs. Oh, okay. That is interesting. Okay, I did not know that. Okay, so I have to write that down. Not on the whiteboard, but on my own personal page. I have to write that down because where is it? I have to look it up. I'm sorry. Let me continue on. While I get myself sorted out to write that down, let me play the next testimony from Joe Anaya, who testifies as to the reason or to also experiencing the same thing Detective Chang testified to in regards to Monica could be heard crying about something. She said that. We didn't really play on it, but because it's just a repeat. But Joe Anaya, who is also the detective that was part of the surveillance team, he testifies to what was said and what Monica was basically doing.
The defendant, was she in the still in the driver's seat at this point after moving the car?
Yes, that was after she had moved the car to that spot off of Saugus. That side street is to the east is Saugus, and she was parked where the inner car was. I was parked right next to her, to the left of her.
Okay. And did you have any windows in your vehicle down at that point?
I did. I had my right passenger window open, which was the window closest to her window.
That would be her driver's window?
Correct.
And could you hear what she was doing?
Yes, she was crying uncontrollably. She was using her cell phone and looking down at it. I remember her saying, "I'm so stupid," and repeating that 3 or 4 times. Okay. And she was continuously crying.
Do you know if she was speaking into the cell phone at that point in time?
She appeared to be, yes.
Could you hear her speaking?
I could.
Okay. After that, did you...
Oh, okay. All right. That's okay. Let's note this down. It's going to be quite important later on. Anaya says What have I done? I believe that's what she said. What have I done? Monica crying. Not only that, he heard what she was saying on the phone. But I find it interesting. I find it very interesting that Beth Silverman did not ask, what did she say on the phone? That's interesting. I would like to know. Can he testify to it? Maybe he couldn't. I have no idea. But I think it's interesting for, like, are they going to bring someone else that heard it? Or are they going to bring the audio and then bring him back to testify later on? That's what my, can I call it spidey senses or whatever? That's what my brain is telling me, that's what might happen. He didn't say what was said. Beth Silverman never asked him what was said. But the next part of his testimony was that Baker had traveled to Oxnard. I believe when Andy Chang was testifying, he said that Baker had leaned on one of their cars or something like that, and he had gone to the gas station. He also took a bus to Oxnard, and I think that was the bulk of their testimony. In regards to that, I don't know what exactly happened in Oxnard, but they apparently went there. I'm gonna let me just remind everyone, please make sure you hit the like button so that it could really help us out with the YouTube algorithm, and also if you are enjoying the stream. But yeah, Trial Channel says the one outside and running is another person's camera. So I when you said that, a thought came into my head. So please answer this question for me. Is it the neighbor's camera that was brought up? I forgot whose testimony it was, but I believe Monica was looking at it. I think it was Mirella's testimony. Monica was looking at the camera saying, I forgot what she said, but she was basically saying, who is that on the camera? How did they have the camera? She was, I don't know, she was kind of frantic from what I can recall, but I have to go back to her testimony and definitely see. But is that the same camera? Are we talking about the same one? Is that the neighbor's camera that she was looking at? Let me know. Oh yes, that's the neighbor's camera. Thank you so much, Trial Channel. I appreciate you. See, nothing goes by, nothing. She does not miss anything. She does not miss. But yeah, let's continue on with the continue on with the show. So that was Joe Anaya. So we did get some more testimony, and it came in the form of Steve Castro. His main function in all of this, with his testimony, it was just to establish the discrepancies that was seen with the time on the surveillance camera, and he was just giving testimony in regards to, one could say maybe he was the one to take over from Detective, because Detective Paschal is dead, unfortunately, rest in peace. So maybe he took over from his function. I can't remember that part too tough, so I do apologize for that. But his testimony is kind of was similar to what Ryan Verner's testimony was. So that's why I felt like maybe he took over from Detective Paschal's role. But nonetheless, he identified that the timestamp on the neighbors or the camera that they had going into the premises, that it was 1 hour early. So it was showing 5:53, and he basically came in to basically show that it was actually 4:53. The time 4:53 is very key. I'm going to let me just, rather than I explained it for no reason, let me just go to the testimony so that you guys can hear it for yourself. If you're like me, we are on a journey together. We are on a journey together. So we are learning about this case. There are other people that know about the case and maybe just want to hear other opinions, but I haven't seen any of these cases. I haven't had the opportunity to see, and the show, the way that I at least want to know is like, I want to go into cases like this free from eyes. I can't cover every case on the recaps like I normally do here, like I normally do on the channel, make the recaps, but I try to bring as many cases and review as many cases that I have missed with fresh eyes and see what occurred in that case. Anyway, let me go into the testimony by Steve Castro, who was the homicide detective, and he gave testimony about time started being off and it needing to be aligned. Let's watch. Okay, that's literally all I wanted from. Oh my! I didn't even share it. My bad. I didn't even share it. Okay. Let me. My bad. Let me go back to that a little bit. There we go.
Residents leaving and going right on Oakdale, is that correct? And exhibit 19, page 23, just for reference. That's still shut up what we're looking at on the video. And again, 1 hour ahead.
That is correct.
So that's at 4:53 p.m.
Yes.
Okay. Did you put out some type of crime broadcast
No.
regarding this?
A crime alert.
Okay, what is that?
Yes. A crime alert, we manufactured that at the station, and then we put information of what we're looking for in a certain situation. In this case, this murder.
And where People's Exhibit 7, and is this an example of some of the crime alerts that you helped to create?
Correct.
What's the purpose of this?
This is for the purpose of police officers that go out and patrol. They're aware of the situation, they're aware of this flyer, they're aware of what took place, and they're aware of what we're looking for.
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to share that was for so many reasons. So what he did testify to, as we know, is that he basically made sure that the alert that they put out was not a press release. He didn't confirm. He didn't confirm or deny because he couldn't remember. But he was. But as far as I'm concerned, I believe this was shared internally. So because it was shared internally, I don't think the outside public would have known about it. So this means that there's a high likelihood that Monica would not have learned that that they were looking for this specific person, this specific surveillance, etc. Otherwise, we may have seen a difference. But then again, if she did learn about it, maybe that's why she denied the DVR. Two ways about it. I'm trying to take on the face value of him not remembering it was a press release. I would imagine that Besserman and the team and the state are going to bring in evidence to kind of show that there was what was on the press release anyway. If there were any pictures on it, they are going to maybe bring in someone that created the press release. Maybe, I have no idea, but I would imagine it wasn't available for public consumption, that it was only shared internally. But the one thing I want to highlight is the 4:53 timestamp. The Porsche, we saw that from Ryan Berner's testimony. Man, the way that the state started this case is brilliant. They just went through everything with Ryan Berner, and then you can just reference back. If the jury was making notes and following along, they probably connected the dots way quicker. But nonetheless, Ryan Berner did show the Porsche being found at 9:08 p.m. I believe 9:17, around that time, 9 to 9:30. It was dark. It was dark. I definitely remember that part. So that was, I don't know. I think it was the day of the murder. So around that time. So we're getting a much clearer time. But this is from Steve Castro's testimony. That is what they were sharing with everyone in the unit, to be on the lookout for that Porsche, which led them to be able to find it as quickly as they did, or be able to track it down on the same day and be able to take pictures of it. So continuing on, before continuing on, I think Trial Channel says, I love this detective. Yeah. I personally, I don't know. I don't know. My favorite witness is Curtis Davis, but I did learn quite a bit from his work, because he did. I think they tried on cross-examination. Blair Burke tried to basically say that Monica was the one that was inviting the whole department, because he did testify to attending Fabio's funeral, and Monica, and they tried to reframe it, and he just provided the context that because one detective couldn't make it, he had to go. So moving on, this is the next testimony that he gave, and it was in regards to the voicemail that Monica had left him. Regarding the money that was being withheld, and this is going to be important for so many reasons. Let's watch.
Yes,
All right,
benefit.
go back a little bit.
Because it was a pretty significant message. I had never received a message like that from a beneficiary.
And again, did it come on your particular voicemail?
Yes.
Is there a reason why, did you save that voicemail?
I did not save the voice message.
Is there any reason why you didn't save it, if you recall?
All I remember is calling over Detective Parshall, and I told him, listen to this message, and he did. I go, do you want me to contact her? And I'll take the heat for delaying the funds, because I know he had a pretty good rapport with the defendant.
Okay. Did you attend the memorial for Wella,
Okay, yeah, this is
held by Wella or Fabio on May 22nd, 2017 in Woodland Hills?
I did.
Did you go with anyone in particular?
Yes.
Who did you go with?
Detective Parshall.
So he went with Detective Parshall to the funeral, but I just want to read this out from Trial Channel quickly. He says, I could be wrong. She says, I could be wrong, but I think they saw Baker on the security cam around 9 p.m. after he ditched the Porsche, but it wasn't until the next day someone called it in. Okay, I haven't heard that. Not saying that you're wrong. Not saying that you're wrong, because you have already seen this movie play out. After all, I am watching it on your channel. I'm joking. But yeah, like we've seen this, like you've seen this play out. So I might have to look back on Werner's testimony around that to basically know what the context of that was. But I don't have any reason to doubt you. But yeah, so that was the bulk of his testimony. After his testimony, we got to hear from Efrain Guttierez, and this is probably, I mean, this guy, I'll give it to this guy. This guy, funniest guy, just didn't care. He just has that personality that he just didn't care what happened. But basically, his testimony was basically short, and he only connects the testimony. Well, he only connects why the attorneys were focusing on the question of, did you see tears? Did you see tears? Did you see tears? And we got to hear from Efrain Guttierez about this particular reason, which shows why the defense, why the state was focusing so much on the tears testimony. I thought it was insignificant. I still think it's kind of insignificant, but there's a lot more weight to it based on the context that he provides. Let's go and take a listen.
Else with you when you walked through this house?
Detective Parshall was.
Okay. Did you notice anything unusual about the defendant?
Yes, so my understanding, it was the wife of the decedent. She wasn't crying, no tears, no runny nose. Seemed kind of odd. That didn't look like someone that was grieving.
Have you conducted homicide investigations before where you've had to interact with family members, loved ones, something of that nature?
Yes, so I worked homicide for 18 years. During that time, I personally handled 108 homicide cases, and then additional probably 300, give or take, undetermined or unnatural death scenes. So yeah, I interact with family grieving at these type of calls.
And this particular scenario, the defendant struck you as unusual?
Yes, I mean, I'm well aware people grieve differently, but I thought her behavior seemed odd, a little forced. And I recall telling Detective Parshall that I said she's full of crap when we walked out of the house.
Okay, thank you. I have no more questions.
I remember telling Detective Parshall that she was full of crap. Insane. So that was the bulk of his testimony. And he's seen bereavements. Of course, it's going to Monica's state of mind that she was dramatizing all of this. And it's going to make sense later on why there was such an emphasis on this, because this context is important. On the day when they were visiting, she was not crying, she was not doing all those things. He immediately read it. He immediately knew that this girl was full of crap. Let's bring in the next witness. But before I do that, I just want to say, guys, hit that like button. It really does help us out with the YouTube algorithm. I truly appreciate every one of you that have been watching these streams. But you know, if you genuinely do enjoy what we're doing here, and you do enjoy talking about these cases, you know, find some value from these streams or the videos that we do, you know, consider hitting the like button, and also subscribing so that you can be notified for whenever we go live, because we are live every Sunday from 4 p.m. Eastern time. I will always post and let you guys know. I want to give a shout out to Zach. He's here. Catch up. I appreciate you. Yes, you are right here to catch up. Oh wow. By the way, if you do speak to Big Johnson, if you do speak with Big Johnson, I should say, yeah, let her know I am thinking of her. Like I have not spoke with her for such a long time. But yeah, thank you for coming onto the stream. Welcome. Hopefully you enjoyed the weekly recap of the Monica Sementilli trial. We have been covering this for like 4 weeks now, so we are now on week 4. This is only part 1, so I've decided to split it to 2 parts because yeah, it's quite intense for week 4. There's a lot of testimony, there's a lot of information coming out, so there was no way I could cover anything after the Detective Curtis Davis. There was just no way. So I had to split into 2 parts. So next week we are going to do week 4 part 2, which I believe is going to go into, I actually don't know, to be honest, because Curtis Davis' testimony was long enough. So I have no idea what part 2 is going to be like. I will announce it once I hear all the testimonies and get the concept behind it. But definitely this week, part 1, the prosecution is methodically breaking every facade that Monica Sementilli had left after the murder, breaking it methodically. If week 3 was bad, or week 2, can't remember when Luigi Sementilli was bad, because that was kind of the first crack. Wasn't that much, wasn't that hard, but it was just like, why is this woman that's dead, why is she saying my precious and I'm betting the document? Why would you be doing that? Why is she making this insurance calls? And then slowly it was cracking. This week, it's done. Yeah, it's basically whatever facade she has put up, Curtis Davis methodically exposes all of those cracks. So let's go into his testimony where he was discussing his data investigation, because he is a digital forensic analyst. He even works for the FBI. Sorry about that. He even works for the FBI, and he is very good at his job. He knows how to explain. He's very specific. This is an expert witness. You just don't. I can already feel a defense like it's going to be very hard to use his facts against him. But I'll give credit to the defense. They have tried, and I think they got some points. I'm going to highlight that later on. But he did provide a very thorough investigation. So he basically testified to the arrest, to the connections between. Let me just go to it. He basically the arrest, but the part that I want to get to is based on the Sementilli Wi-Fi. He was able to determine that on March 2016, Baker was at the Sementilli residence. And it's very, very important, because this, in my opinion, was when the affair began. Or maybe they started advancing it a lot more. But definitely at this point, this is when I could guess that the affair started. Let's go into that testimony right now and hear what he has to say in regards to the volume of times Robert Baker was connected to, based on the location data that he was at Queen Victoria Street, which is basically Monica Sementilli's and Fabio Sementilli's residence.
Into some software that allows me to map it and actually animate it over time. And what this essentially shows is the Samsung S4 and any other related devices associated to Mr. Robert Baker and that oeginc@gmail.com in the vicinity of the Queen Victoria Road address between February 1st, 2016 and January 1st, 2017.
So during that time, we're basically seeing the blue dots represent the volume of times he's been to that location?
Correct. And it's, just to clarify, it's not every dot is a new trip. Those are the logged locations by Google, and so they can be in clusters.
Okay. And so at some point we see in the next slide, slide 19, clusters as well. So what does this particular slide show us?
Essentially the same data, but we're looking at it in a single still. And top down, it just shows the volume, all the different logged activity in and around that particular address.
Now,
and this is very interestingly originates from December 2015. And then from January onwards to October onwards, this is the activity of being there, which shows you that it's even longer back in the past. Damn, they really got him. like this is if you're talking about getting caught in 4K, I think this can suffice. I mean, it's not really a picture, but it's definitely enough. It's definitely enough. But yeah, that is the geolocation data of Robert Baker being at Monica Sementilli's place. I don't know what happened with my mind. Everything just slowed down for a second. I don't know why. Anyway, I think I got my bearings back. So after that, we got to hear more testimony from Curtis Davis in regards to the communications with Robert Baker and his friends about the affair that he is having with Monica Sementilli. this communications is very, very key for so many reasons. I'm not going to play the testimony because it's largely you can read for yourself here. But Robert Rob is clearly infatuated with her. In fact, he says super intelligent, speaks 5 languages. She's actually Italian. So we know that this is Monica Sementilli, and we know how back in the day, if you were like me, a teenager once in your life, probably. I mean, I'm starting to reminisce about those times and being an old man, but there was a lot of infatuation with the Italians. So just putting it out there, even in my uni, they were like a hot commodity. I shouldn't be using these words. Oh God. Anyway, but nonetheless, Robert Baker clearly was infatuated. He basically told his friend here, Michael Spence. Sorry, I don't know if he's going to testify later on. But yeah, he says that he says here, I'm not involved. I'm not married, but I'm involved with a 44-year-old professor. So that would be referencing Monica Sementilli. The Italian is also referencing Monica Sementilli. Then we got to see more communications with him and Ron Ray, which is who I thought Roy was. But anyway, he talks about her saying that she is a 44 Italian college professor. This is again Monica Sementilli. I did not actually know that she was a college professor. I didn't know that. I thought she was a celebrity hairstylist. But Robert Baker is saying here that she is a college professor, so he would know her more. But yeah, his slides are gorgeous. I wonder who made them. You gotta love Trial Channel. You gotta love Trial Channel. See, what she does is very unique because there are times in the footage that you're watching, if you're trying to catch up with a trial, she will actually make it visually what's the word? The visual cues. They are visual cues. I think without her, the testimony, the cross-examination, I would never have noticed that it was a swinger site, because we got to find out it was a swinger site, but it was brought out, I forgot, on week 3. Anyway, I forgot the name of the witness, so there is not much point. But yeah, but yeah, she is behind the slides being back up, because I would imagine if you go back on the original stream, it's probably gone at a certain point and you can't see exactly, but she keeps it up for the entire testimony, which is quite handy, to be honest. But anyway, moving on, he sends pictures of them together. I don't know exactly what date this is. I can't zoom in. But yeah, pictures of Monica and Baker were sent to the friend Ron Ray, and he also sent a picture again to Ron Ray. I think it was her. Not. Let me try and find it. No, that was when. This was, so they were literally meeting up brazenly, and even Ron Ray had met her. So he's sending a picture to Robert Baker. Here's her playing racquetball. November 12th. Thank you so much, Monica Sementilli. Not Monica Sementilli. Damn, Trial Channel. Thank you so much, Trial Channel. Don't hate me. I didn't mean to call you that. November 12th or 13th. But yeah, so they were sending each other pictures back and forth. It's just when you think about it, it's actually mad that the defense would actually go up there and say that she didn't want to leave. That because she didn't want to leave Fabio, that Robert Baker began harassing her and stalking her and all those things. Honestly, she's still pretty. I mean, I don't think it's gone. I just think it's because of all these things coming out, it makes her look ugly, which happens. Like once you know someone, I do believe that your percentage, that your perception changes. But I still think that even now she's actually still pretty. It's just how we see her now. But you can tell that she actually had a past. That she had a past when she was attractive. But anyway, let's continue on. We then got to hear testimony about 4 deleted emails in Monica's Hotmail account. And the deleted emails is quite interesting because I first it goes with the name of Diane at ball1.com. So this was it was found out to be belonging to Robert Baker's phone. Well, it found out to be belonging to Robert Baker because I can't remember the reason why it belonged to Robert Baker, but he was the only one that accessed. That's it. There was an email sent or forwarded to that Diane Ball email that included specific instructions in regards to how to access the DVR. I think he testifies to it here. Let's just go and listen. I'm not going to spend too long on this testimony, but yeah, but this is the email that was sent to Diane Ball. Let's listen.
So on June 28th of 2016, the defendant forwards what's referred to in the subject line, First Digital Surveillance DVR System Operation and User Manual, to Robert Baker.
The Hotmail account forwards exactly that.
And after she forwards that information, she then deletes it, the forwarded email from her account.
The email then shows up in the deleted folder.
So that's the 4th out of the 4 deleted emails that you indicated you were able to, that you found in going through her email account.
Yes.
And what?
I'm not gonna lie. I do have a little bit of a soft spot for women that are a bit older than me. Like, I don't know if it's a transition in age. I don't know what that is because I've always dated women younger than me. Always. That's my history, except for my ex-wife who was 2 years older than me. But I've always dated younger. I don't know what's happened over the years. Mr. Hines still has it for her. Okay, Brooklyn.
We see depicted here in slide 83.
This is still part of that same email from First Digital Surveillance, the company. It's a long email, and the email includes instructions, specific instructions for how to log in to the home closed-circuit television system First Digital set up at the Sementilli residence. This particular slide shows that in order to log in, you have to input that specific IP address of 104.181.138.147.
The same IP address that we've seen now in multiple slides, including the one where Robert Baker, on this particular date, June 28th of 2016, saved the Sementilli IP address.
Yes.
There we go. I would actually advise, like with, I'm going to start putting out, because I always do trial guides where I put down the timestamp of the video that I watch and the key parts that I've noted down. I always put on a timestamp and what the function of the witness is, all those things. I'm going to try to bring out the week by week recap so that you guys can see, because the way that they arrived at this testimony is actually impeccable. go and watch the full thing. If you're able to watch the full thing, definitely go and watch it, because if you're like me and you like to see things unfold and like see it broken down to chunks, etc., you're going to appreciate this, because the way that they have arrived at this to show, it's impeccable. But the main point I wanted to highlight from this is the IP address. It's going to be important later on, but I feel like even after Curtis Davis, this particular IP address is going to play a big role as as the trial goes on. IP address to access DVR. So that's it. Let's go back into the testimony of the testimony of Curtis Davis, because this is when he gave testimony about a footage of Monica Sementilli at Target. So we're gonna go to it now. This is her at Target. Hold up. This is her at Target. She still doesn't look bad. I'm sorry, but I don't think she looks bad. I don't know. Maybe it's just me and me needing. I've never worn glasses in my life, so my vision is actually all right. But I don't know. Is it my taste? I don't think she looks bad, even after jail. And she is 47 now, or something, or maybe 50. I have no idea. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't go that high. I don't think I don't think I would imagine that high. But maybe 5 years difference, 4, 3, maybe. But yeah, but objectively, she is naturally pretty. You can say that, right? You can acknowledge that. But anyway, let's go on, because this is when, at this time, 4:32, she looks at her phone as she walks towards the exit. That is very important. She looks at her phone at 4:32. Let's play.
Target store, and this is on January 23rd, 2017. It depicts Mrs. Sementilli in the lower left-hand corner interacting with her smartphone.
That's her in the sweatshirt that we see in the background, the gray sweatshirt, black leggings, white pennies.
Yes, ma'am. Currently at the middle top of the screen.
And this is video footage that you got from robbery homicide detectives relating to the defendant's actions on the day of the murder, January 23rd of 2017 at 4:32 p.m.
That's right.
From the local Target store?
Yes.
What was the relevance of what we just saw?
As a digital investigator, attribution is very important. It's one of the reasons I do so much work to corroborate across all these different accounts. And in this particular video, Mrs. Sementilli is interacting with her phone, which to me as the investigator shows that she has full control of that device at that particular time.
Okay. Let's look at the next slide. I believe this is slide 92. What does this indicate?
This is an artifact from Mrs. Sementilli's iPhone, and it shows the presence of a log entry for the IDMSS Lite app with the most recent log entry on January 23rd, 2017.
At a particular time?
11:53 UTC.
And the 11:53, once it's converted, is that 3:53 in the afternoon?
3:53 in the afternoon, yes.
Okay. And does this indicate...
Oh, I know. You're fine. It was funny. It was funny.
Access through the home IP address?
No, I don't see the IP address on this particular file.
Okay. In terms of this particular artifact from the Celebrate extraction on her phone, were you able to gather any information from the data that is displayed here?
Sure. So in addition to the date and the timestamp that shows the most recent usage per the log of that particular app, It also shows the approximate amount of data that was coming in and going out of the phone, and that's shown in the center column where it says Wi-Fi in, Wi-Fi out, and then WAN in and WAN out. WAN stands for Wide Area Network. If this device was at home and connected to Wi-Fi, we would see data associated with the Wi-Fi, but because it's out in public, it's essentially using the data towers, the cell phone towers, to receive internet traffic. So here we have WAN in bytes, and it's a fairly large number. Put my commas in. 32,092,462.
What's a byte?
A byte is a small unit of data. When we're talking about data actually being transmitted, it's bits. But it's similar.
Okay, we don't need the explanation, but the main point he wanted to get across with that testimony, it was that there was an access to the app at 4:13 p.m. I would say, access to the app around that time, and now because of that access to the app, there was something that happened in regards to the events, the surrounding events on the day of the murder. Let's go and listen to that testimony right now. Let's continue.
593 with respect to the data. What does this tell us?
So now we have AT&T internet records associated with that 818-424-4213 phone number, which is associated to Mrs. Sementilli. And this corroborates some of the data traffic found in that artifact off of the phone. Additionally, it shows that the IP address associated with the Sementilli residence was being accessed multiple times on January 23rd, local time, between a span of about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and 5:15 p.m.
So this would be a separate type of record that you're looking at for data, correct? That corroborates what we just saw with respect to the IDMS light application data from her Celebrite, her forensic phone extraction.
Yes, so the previous slide was essentially the device, the phone itself. This particular record is pertaining to the tower, the AT&T data itself.
So would this be consistent with when you said streaming video from her surveillance, her live surveillance feed from her CCTV cameras?
Yes, especially early on, it shows a spike, if you will, in data coming in via AT&T.
Why is that important?
It's consistent with the streaming of video.
Okay, that's important there, because those spikes of data at the time, I can't read it here, but I don't. But yeah, this is it. So these are flipping neck. I don't think I got it. I don't think I got the right one. 1 second. Let me try and go to. That. But yeah, he goes on to explain the spikes of data, and this is the amount of data that was. I think this was a comparison between the data that was received after the murder and on the day of the murder. But all of this was just to show that at 5:53, around the time that from 4:15 to 5:15, around the time that the murder was taking place, there was an active, there was a massive spike of data from the use of the app to connect to the DVR at the Sementilli residence. They used that IP address to make sure that the connection is possible. And I believe he gave testimony as well about how she would not be using the Wi-Fi, the IP address of the home. Rather, she would use the IP address of the website that she was visiting, which was Lifestyle Lounge. And it's very key as well, because that lifestyle lounge, the questions were asked whether they had video capabilities with the people that they were talking. I don't think they were able to access the lifestyle lounge conversations, but I really don't know, because we didn't really get to see any testimony around that yet. I want to say, but I get the feeling that they're trying to establish that this was how Robert and Monica were talking through that lifestyle lounge. So that's why she was visiting at that particular time, from her web history, why she would be on lifestyle lounge at that point, to basically talk with Baker, not see other men. So after all of that, this is where the facade breaks. Let's go into the excruciating testimony of Monica's actions after the death of Robert Sementilli. Well, outward actions. So he testified to all of the photos that was being put up on Instagram around the time of January 2017 to February. So on January, we can see basically the message here saying, this is your spot. We see the picture there. This is your spot. Forever, I'll always keep it on for you. All those things. Great. She's grieving. We get the idea. This is where, of course, Efrain Guttierez's testimony comes in, where he talks about her being full of shit, basically. So we now get the idea in our heads that when she's putting up all of this, is she being genuine? So on the 25th, she put that up. The ones that doesn't have any pictures on them or anything like that, that is Fabio Sementilli being put up. I'm not sure why the defense chose that. Maybe it was a strategic choice to basically say, to not make this so overt that they want to make her look so bad. Maybe that's why they didn't want to show Fabio Sementilli on the screen. Maybe they didn't want to get sympathy or draw sympathy from the jury, to basically say, oh no, there is no way she could have done this, and she's just grieving in her own way. But nonetheless, all of these markers are pictures of Fabio Sementilli. She says here, today we celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary. My heavy heart misses you. I know your children know. I know your children know that I married the greatest man on earth. I am forever thankful for these short 20 years. I know what you're saying right at this moment. Chin up, charge the mountain, Sementilli power. When I read that, immediately I thought back to what Beth Silverman was asking Mirella Sementilli, who was Fabio's sister, I believe. Anyway, she was asking her a question in regards to what Monica was basically saying when she asked the question about them getting security. We talked about that last week on week 3, and Monica's reaction was, we don't need security, we got this, Sementilli power, all those things. And Beth Silverman went, Sementilli power? As if it was and I always found that strange. I always found that, like, why would she say that in such a sarcastic tone, as if you know what's coming, kind of thing, kind of like, because I was like, why is that surprising? And now we get it, because she was using that phrase while putting up all of this, and I think that's low-key manipulation. Then we get on to the next slides in regards to what her activity was from February to around February. She was putting up more Instagram messages, and the one thing I want to highlight in all these Instagram messages is, for some reason, I don't know why, but pay attention to the timestamps. 10:31, 30. I'm not gonna count that, but this one is early in the morning. We're gonna see more of this because this one is a bit normal, but you're gonna see a more occurrence of her posting at this specific time, AM, and I don't get it. Maybe she put up a reminder so that she can always post in the morning. Make those posts. It's like an habit builder reminder, like scheduling your post. I have no idea, but I just find it interesting that she would make these posts that frequently in the morning, the first thing she got up. Then she does it again here in the morning, breaks pattern a little bit with it, which is why I'm not counting it, I'm not looking at that. But the reason why that's important is because she breaks the pattern at these nights, and I got to infer here because of what happens here. She supposedly had met Fabio. Sorry, not Fabio. She supposedly had met Baker at the parlor at 8:50 p.m. hugging and kissing. So at this point, that's where I'm like, okay, that's weird. You're putting all this up. You meet Fabio. Sorry, not Fabio. Sorry. You meet Robert Baker. Everyone grieves differently. I get that. 100%. Everyone moves on. I get that. 100%. But I thought he was harassing you, and I thought you wanted him to leave you alone. Okay. That's bad. I also think that maybe at the times that she was putting this up, maybe she was with Baker. I don't think so, because she probably would have popped up on the radar sooner. But that's why I didn't really look much into the pattern of the PM times. But anyway, moving on. More visits to this is the same day. Wakes up same night after meeting Robert Baker. She puts up, says, "Cheers, baby. Can't sleep. Think I would join you for a drink. Help me to make the right decisions for her family. You are so good to me. Lend me your strength. Missing you." Automatically, I can already see it. Maybe we're going to get more testimony around this message, around this thing. Maybe the defense is going to hone in on that to say that she was just grieving and things had changed, because they have to change strategies now. I don't know. Maybe they didn't see this coming. I have no idea. They probably would have, because it would have been entered into evidence. But maybe they're going to expand more on this to basically say, look, she was clearly conflicted because she missed him, and at the same time was seeing Baker at the same night, 2 a.m. after seeing him, probably even with him at this point. Who knows? Anyway, the next night at 10 p.m. So this is early in the morning, from the 21st at 10 p.m. She puts a quote, a photo with a quote saying, "Grief, I just learned, I it's really just love," So she says that she's basically signaling to the world that she's grieving, which is why I believe she is going. Her defense is going to focus in on that aspect. But we see a repeat pattern again of early morning post. I don't know why she's doing it, but early morning post, and then all about Fabio. Hold up.
Run from.
I don't know why that popped up. Anyway, all about Fabio, saying how much she misses him. "I miss you, my larger than life partner, my husband." This was on the 8 in the morning. There's a discipline here, is basically what I'm trying to say. Then more pictures I believe this is with a picture with Fabio. Give me all your strength, baby. I need it. Proud wife, best husband ever. Of course, sending the image that she's grieving. Again, early morning. Interesting. Just very interesting that I just find this. It's just, who wakes up early in the morning like this? So many, like, it's almost like you're set out. And the only reason why this is strange is because it's what I would do. Because I can't remember to post on social media that I've got a show coming up, that I do this every week, that I've got a new video coming out. You kind of have to train it into your mind, to kind of get into the habit to post at a certain time regularly. You need that kind of reminders. And it just seems to me, based on my pattern anyway, it just seems to me that that's exactly what she's doing. But she is also, because it was brought out on cross-examination, that she has made other posts as well. We will get into that. But it's just seems interesting that she would just do it this early in the morning. 5 times this time, from March 1st to March 6th. Don't know, man. Don't know. Okay. So let's move on. Now, again, 9:28 a.m., 9:47 a.m., 7th, 8th. Don't ever let anyone tell you can't do something. Fabio Sementilli, wise words, love of my life. Sementilli power. Sementilli power. That is now our strength. Chin up, charge up the mountain. We speak for your words every day. I love you. This is when, again, they meet up at a car park. Well, I don't know where this exactly is, but they met up basically. And Rob, it was a car park. Okay, well, I know parking. So they moved from parking lot to parking lot. Don't know what the purpose of that was, but they were hugging and kissing basically. 2 days, or a day or two ago, she was posting all this about Fabio. Again, everyone grieves differently. I get it. People have whole phases that last as long as the grief period. I get it. Missing you so much. This has a bit of a gap. But again, 8 a.m. in the morning, and I would never get that. They held hands. They were at the Laugh Factory at the Sun Foods. But the most important context is in all of this. And I have to go back to get the precise times. I wish I recorded back then the precise times. But all of this time is coinciding with her calling the companies. I believe calling the companies at this point, asking for the insurance payout, asking for why it's taking so long. And at the same time, I believe she and the son-in-law, Fabio's brother, I can't remember his name, but he helped her draft out the mail. Also, around this time is when, around February anyway, is when she was asking about the insurance, about Fabio being the aggressor, all those things. So February and March is when she was heavily asking about the insurance. Marco Sementilli, thank you. I believe it's Marco Sementilli. Thank you. So let me just breathe a bit. Again, early morning. I'll give this one a pass. It's a bit early. It's a bit later on. But 8:50 a.m. Really could use the strength missing yours. Really can't understand all this. Praying for justice is so hard to live without. Justice, praying for justice. Praying for justice. I mean, in context, it makes sense because she did call Detective Parshall asking how the investigation is going, all those things. So I guess the defense is going to make a meal of that to try and turn this around because this does look very bad. There's so many question marks. So many question marks. It's right. And then Las Vegas. And this is when it breaks completely, because on a day before, again at 8 a.m. Why these early times? Makes a post, Fabio in the picture, all those things. Please lend me your abundant strength. Can't do this without you. Proud wifey. My husband rocks. Lend me your strength. Hotel and spa, Las Vegas, cash out fight charger. Picture, bad.
Yeah.
So much questions. So much questions. Let me just go back to it. I accidentally dropped out. So now we get to Las Vegas more and more. And again, the facade just keeps breaking methodically. Breaking and breaking. Breaking and breaking. They were here in Las Vegas taking pictures together, looking all good. Look at that. Robert Baker, this is the harasser. This is the person that wanted to, that couldn't handle being without Monica. That would have done this so that Monica would, so that Monica would be with him. And for some reason he does that. Monica says, "Okay, I know you were harassing me, and you were basically stalking me, according to the opening statements. But I'm gonna be with you anyway because I like you." This is what's happening. This is what's playing out. The kiss on the cheek, flipping neck. Anyway, we've gone past all of that. All of these in the morning. She makes a post in the daytime, and I found this interesting for so many reasons. I'm gonna write it down. She says, "Karma's just sharpening her nails and finishing her drink. She'll be with you shortly." And I don't know what she means by that. Maybe and Karma sharp nails. I don't know what she means by that, but the only inference I can possibly gauge from what she's doing here is, I don't know what Fabio did to her in that relationship that she would put something like that, because I don't know. I have no idea. Is she trying to say that that Fabio is gonna get revenge, or things are gonna work out? It was just weird. It was just weird. But I know it down anyway because there could be some more meanings to that. If it comes out, I will, I will point to it again. But again, all through April. Hold up. I think that was Vegas done all through April. AM. Okay, these three don't count. All these three don't count. But I know those two for a reason. So the reason why I'm knowing that now is because you will see the pattern change. You will see it becoming a lot more sporadic now. These ones does not look set. She is now in the behavior. She's got the habit. That's what, that's why that's why I found it interesting to actually notice that pattern early on, how it was consistent, and then all of a sudden anytime. So she's now got used to basically posting all of this, and it's no longer at different times. Sorry, it's no longer at a set time. Here, 4 p.m. We've never seen her post anything past 10 a.m. Sometimes in the night when she's already out, with Baker, she'll post it out. We saw that, that little anomaly. Then we saw different times where but now it's literally scrambled. It might be a reach. Some of you might say that, but I don't know. I just think it's weird that all of a sudden I'm just seeing different times. She's now in Vegas, posting about Sementilli Power, posting about all those things, but she is out here rocking with Ricardo and Sheila. I don't know if we're gonna hear anything from them, but that is the bulk of the testimony. That is basically what the testimony is. And they went into, I think that's I think I believe, yeah, this is when they started discussing the lifestyle lounge and the people that are there, and they talked about the chat capabilities as well as the video calling capabilities. So the facade broke at that point, like I said, and it's I what do you guys think? What do you guys think here? I think this is something I don't want to do often. On here, maybe when the channel grows a little bit, maybe I can have the facility to have this conversation. But the trial channel has something to say in regards. Hold up, she has something to say in regards to the my observation of this. So let me see if I can. Oh, my bad. Oh, got the wrong part here. Let me try and bring it up. Let me try and bring her up now. But hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. Keep voting. Keep voting on the next episode, on the next case that you guys would want me to dive into, because it'll be nice. It'll be extremely nice to get your point of view in regards to those cases. Currently, the Massachusetts versus Christine Ritchie. Christine Ritchie, is currently ahead, and then it's Melody Farris. We've only got like a few minutes left of the show. I don't want to run over 2 hours, but yeah, let me try and see. Let me try and see if she can hear me. Trial channel, can you hear me? Ah, nice, amazing. Okay, so let me. Yeah, I can hear you. Let me just make sure that I can actually bring you into the scene. So let me just no, you're okay. I need to add you so that you can be heard. Hold up. Okay. Hold up. There we go. I'm not sure. Can you hear her? Hold up. So let me transition to that. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear us. Say something so that I can...
I'm saying something.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right. Okay. So, you wanted to tell... Okay, so thank you so much for joining my channel for the first time. You don't normally stream, by the way. You don't normally stream.
Never.
So,
ever.
Yeah. So, sorry, well, you have streamed, but you don't normally show yourself. Okay, let's continue on, because what did you want to tell me? What did I miss in all of this? What did I miss?
So, well, this is just a quick point. I don't remember if you touched on this or not, but in regards to Detective Castro, I think the biggest point of his testimony was that he was the one who was in touch with this insurance company and told them, don't release the money. So that was just a quick point.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So Detective Castro was the one that gave the instruction not to release the money.
Mm-hmm.
Was he the one that was in charge of the whole investigation, the whole surveillance?
No. That's a different... I don't remember now what...
But he hasn't testified yet. He or she, anyway.
No, Detective Castro, you just had him up.
No, I mean the person that was in charge of the surveillance.
I guess not.
Okay. All right.
Like I think that's further down the line.
Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to that. I love this. Okay. I love it when you guys spot blind, when you guys show the blind spots that I may have missed, because I genuinely did not know that. That changes everything, because now I have to consider a timeline of when this instruction went out. Because if it went out before February 21st, because I'm assuming that they found out about Monica on the 21st when she just randomly showed up with Baker. I'm assuming that's when, because I'm remembering Ryan Verner's testimony where he said that they were that they had to change course and consider her as a person of interest when they had learned that she was dating Baker. I'm remembering that testimony, and I'm just piecing it together. I'm just piecing it together with Officer Chang, as well as Joe Anaya.
Yeah,
I'm piecing it together
that's what I
from
wanted to talk about mostly. Like from
Okay.
yeah. So basically, the whole situation that happened with that, like I think they're part of the drugs and narcotics task force or something. And so yeah, they were part of the whole surveillance, like, and there was a whole relay team, but they had put this whole like operation occurred on February 17th, which is, I mean, Fabio died or was murdered on January 23rd. So this is 3 weeks after. They had already gotten, well, obviously they have their eyes on Baker because of the DNA. And but I think, now I don't remember in what context you brought up Deborah Obad. Oh, you were just doing your recap or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Deborah Obad like said something about the seeing Baker over there or whatever at the Sementilli house. But anyway, they put
don't spoil it for me, please. I want to learn.
Well, I feel like it may have come out by now, but like just briefly. So like it's not a huge thing. It's just like a little like tidbit of information. Anyway, so they put a tracker on essentially Fabio's F-150, but the one that Monica drives. And on February 17th, Monica and Baker go to this bar called The Parlor. And then after that, they go to another bar. I think it's a karaoke, like hole in the wall kind of bar. Then this is where Anaya comes in, Detective Anaya, or I don't know what his title is, but he spots Monica go outside to go smoke a cigarette. And she makes out with the bouncer.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. So shortly after that, she goes inside and then they both leave. And then they travel to a mobile gas station. And then this is the part where you were saying she was crying. What did you say she was saying again?
Yeah, I said the detectives, Joe and I especially, said that she was crying and speaking to the phone, saying that it's all my fault.
Yeah.
All of those things, but there was more that she said, and Joe and I wasn't asked what did she say on the phone. Like, so I
don't
found
know
that
if her
interesting.
phone was actually tapped, though.
Huh?
I don't know if her phone was tapped.
But he said that he heard her speak on the phone. That's the part.
Like I thought he was saying that he saw her, like she had the phone up to her ear, or something.
Okay.
And I don't think they were listening in on the phone call.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. But that's how I recall it. And then anyway, then after that, Baker, he gets out and then he walks a little bit. And, Monica's still having her episode in the truck, and they're not really interested in her at that point too much. Yeah. So they're following Baker, and he gets onto a bus, and then he gets into a taxi, and then they follow him back to his apartment. And I guess Monica just goes home from there. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the insight. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Hopefully when we grow, I start doing this with other people that want to bring up a blind spot that I may have missed. Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for jumping on.
Yeah, you can kick me out now.
Have a good evening. Bye bye.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, so that was very interesting. I did not know at all. I think my normal screen. Let me just go back to normal. Okay, so I did not know that at all. Damn. Okay, so great insight. In my opinion, this case is now heating up. This case is now, a lot of the details are coming out, and we are going to, because I did watch Detective Balderrama's testimony. I'm not going to go through it on this stream, but there were communications with Baker and Monica Sementilli, and we're going to go through that on part 2, where they were having communications when they were arrested and being and they were having hearings. So we are going to be going through that later on. But yeah, I appreciate the trial channel for posting that blind spot and for sharing that that Detective Castro was the one that made the call to not put out or release the insurance money, and he made the call, and that was it. That's why Monica did not receive the insurance money. That is super, super interesting. I have to now look back on my notes to see how that connects with other people's testimony. Can't wait for next week's show for part 2, where we're all bringing this all together. But before I go, I just want to okay. Oh wow. I just want to highlight this and end the poll. So I'll go through the poll results, but the trial channel puts out something very interesting here and says, and she says, "Oh my God, I forgot to add. That's why she was having the episode, because Baker caught her and got all mad. She wasn't saying I did it, in my opinion." I don't know the context behind this. I think we might hear a bit of testimony about this. Maybe it's spoilers. I don't know, but thank you for that. Thank you for that. I think there's gonna be a bit more context coming up about this, because I didn't hear anything about Baker catching her or anything like that. Just Detective Balderrama's testimony that I want to go into next week for part 2. But anyways, MA versus Christine Ritchie is the case that most of you guys want me to cover. So damn, after this case is done, after Monica Sementilli trial is done, we shall be going into the Monica versus Christine Ritchie. Thank you to everyone that have voted. I appreciate you. I have 2 videos releasing this week. Well, next week, but you get the idea. I have 2 videos releasing this week in regards to the recaps of the ongoing trial of the Nevada versus Devin Williams case. So definitely something to look out for. I'll be posting it in the community tab section, where I normally let you guys know of what's going on with these cases. I am also going to be putting out just me ranting in a way, because of what has happened with the Murphy case, with the whole cameras issue. I did a little bit video of that, and I'm going to be putting it out very, very soon this week. So it's almost done, but those are 2 videos I'm working on. I shall be putting out recaps of the Nevada versus Devin Williams, who is accused of decapitating her ex-husband, her husband's head, Jonathan Willett. It's a very, very weird love triangle case where the son is married to Devin, and the father is also married to Devin. It's just weird, and I can't wait to go through that case. Anyway, let me just read this last one and then we're gonna go. Judge Chan says, "I think it's just up to the jury to decide on that. It's all inferred. I believe you're referring to the Baker quarter, and she was all mad. I hope so. But yeah, thank you everyone that has voted. I will, like I said in the previous stream, every month I'm going to, every month I'm going to put up a poll where you guys get to decide what case I should look into. So next month the poll will go back up to the cases I should look at. Anyway, I'll leave it all there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take good care of yourself, and also if you're watching this back on replay, thank you as well for tuning in and giving us a watch. Make sure you hit that like button and also don't forget to subscribe. And before I forget again, because I always do this, go on to catchupcourt.info, and let me just go straight to it. Go on to catchupcourt.info, where if you have a case that you want to see us cover here that I may not put into a vote, and you just want me to take a look at it and dive deep into it, make sure you go into this particular go onto the website and fill in the form. Contact me anyhow, and I will be able to look at a case, whatever it might be. I'll leave the link in the comment section and pin it up so that you guys can see. Thank you so much, everyone, once again for tuning in. I truly appreciate you. Hopefully, you guys have a great evening or day wherever you're at. Thank you so much again. See you next week on Source on Order for episode 7. That's it. We are out of here. Bye for now. Thank you everyone for tuning in for another Catch Up Court live stream. Make sure that you smash that like button as well as hitting that subscribe button to be notified of our future live streams. We go live regularly, bringing you case updates and recaps of ongoing trials, so make sure you hurry back on the next live stream. We also have more content on the channel that you can binge on. Check out the playlist that we have showcasing all of these contents. Without further, I go by the name of Hines, your friendly neighborhood catch-up man, and I'll see you back in court.